What is going on, you guys? It is your boy, The Wizard here, back with another album ranking. Today we are ranking the albums of a band that I think is very underrated, like to the T underrated for sure. It's a band called LÍVE. They are from the 90s. They made like post-grunge, early stuff they made like funk rock. Um, and I think this band is very underrated and deserves more love, so that's why I'm doing an album ranking for them. They have 7 albums that were made by the original members of LÍVE. There was one that came out in 2014 called The Turn that does not have the same lead singer as the rest of these albums do. So I never listened to that one because it wasn't the original members. Plus, they don't have it on Spotify, so I couldn't really figure out a way to listen to it. So that won't be in this ranking. But yeah, this is a band that's one of my favorite bands of all time. I actually have their logo tatted on me, which is pretty cool. This band I got introduced to by my psychology teacher, Mr. White. Shout out Mr. White. Yes, his name is Mr. White, just like Breaking Bad. I know, I get it. It's hilarious. But so he told me in psychology class one day because he knew I was doing this album ranking thing that I do, and he was like, "You should really check out this band called LÍVE and their album Throwing Copper," and I did, and I loved it, and that just sparked me to listen to all their other albums, and I was just introduced to this amazing band that nobody's ever heard of before. Every time I mention to somebody, they're like, "I don't know who you're talking about," and I'm like, "Then get educated, please, because dude, I'm telling you." This band is amazing. Almost every album is peak, but we'll get into that in the ranking, which we will start and go ahead and get into right now. Starting off with number 7, we have their actual last album that they ever made together, Songs from Black Mountain. I wouldn't say this album's bad, but it's underwhelming because if you're looking for if you know LÍVE and you know what their sound is before this album, you're expecting some more heavier songs and stuff, but they also make some beautiful songs as well. Well, think they took that beautiful sound and just made an entire album, and there's no real heavy songs in the album. There's like a couple, but like there's not many. But like, don't get me wrong, I love when LÍVE goes beautiful and majestic and melodic. That's some of their best songwriting ever, but to make a full album out of it's kind of like we miss what we had, almost with like we wanted heavier live in some songs instead of just getting a straight soft melodic album. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these songs are beautiful and they really do sound good, and the lyrics are of course amazing from Ed, the lead singer, but don't mind the pipes. Oh, we're getting into it. But yeah, it's not like it's a bad album or anything. I still got some enjoyment out of the songs that I heard, like The River, and the last song, Night of Nights, is a really actually good closer, and I think was actually my favorite song on the album, but I would have to go back and look at it again. I don't remember a lot of the songs off the album, too. That was another factor that I took into it, was I didn't really go back to this album as much as their other albums, but it was like they weren't like forgettable, but then they became forgettable after the album was done, and I couldn't really see myself going back to this album and all of that. But still a pretty decent album, so I wouldn't say it's like their worst, but like it's just not their best, so that's why it's at the bottom. They don't have a bad album. It's just that this one's the least best out of the factor here. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so I give Songs from Black Mountain a 90%. Middle ground, 9 out of 10, Yeah, pretty standard. Okay, moving on to number 6. We have Birds of Prey. This album came out before Songs from Black Mountain. It was second to last. And this one I liked a little bit more, just a tad bit more than Songs from Black Mountain, because you had the beautiful melodic singing and songwriting from what we known from earlier records, but then you also had some heavier songs. But then there's this one song called Heaven, which the lead singer wrote for his newborn daughter, and that is a beautiful song, and the lyrics mean a lot to him. And I can see why it is a very heartfelt song. I really do think that everybody should really listen to that one off that album. That is a very good song. But besides that, I can't really remember a lot of the songs off this one either. This one just was almost as forgettable as songs from Black Mountain, but not as much, because like you have the sanctity. How do you say that one? The sanctity of dreams. Sanctity of Dreams, I think is how you say it. I don't know how to say it, but that actually was my favorite song on the album. I know a lot of people probably would have picked Heaven, but I think I found a lot more joy out of the Sanctity of Dreams, because that's just a killer song. And but yeah, this one, it had some more memorable songs on it than songs from Black Mountain. Truthfully, I gave a 90% to this album before I heard songs from Black Mountain, and then I had to raise the score because I thought I liked it just a little bit more than songs for Black Mountain. So yeah, it's not like it's terrible, again. It's not like it's bad. It's just decent. I would say it's around the rank of decent. A decently good album is what I would say. So yeah, I give Birds of Prey a 91%. Just a tad bit more than songs from Black Mountain. Okay, moving on to what I think is all their most best albums. Starting with number 5, and what a perfect album to have here, their album, LÍVE, which is their 5th album. This album is a weird one, though. It's a good album. It's a really good album. But they went a different route here. They really... I don't know what they were going for. It came out in 2001, I think. And this is whenever, like, the rap metal was going around, I think, or, like, the rap rock. They tried to do that in this album. And some of it doesn't land, and some of it does. Like, it mixes with the rap rock, like, perfectly sometimes. Like, I'd have to say Simple Creed is a mention I could give, or an example. And Deep Enough is a killer heavy track on this album. And I will say one of my least favorite songs on the album, though, would have to be, what is it called? Forever May Not Be Long Enough. And it was used in one of the Mummy movies at the time. And that song just I didn't really get into it that well. It didn't really hook me like any of the other songs on the album. But I would say that my favorite song on this album is Transmit Your Love. I don't know why that song stuck with me, but it probably is in my top 20 or top 15 favorite live songs of all time. I don't know why. If you go listen to it, it's nothing special, but it's just a really mellow track that just kind of is like, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It sounds catchy. It's very catchy. And then it gets heavy in the bridge and stuff, and it's just a wild track. But then we get more wild. Don't mind the pipes again. With the song Okay, with a question mark. That one's a little bit of a weird one. Because it starts off with, like, kind of groovy and funky, and it actually goes back to their funky roots. But the more it goes on, it gets so much more funnier. The lyrics are hilarious to me for some reason. He's like, don't want your fucking recipe. Like, what the hell? What are you talking about? But for some reason, I like it. And I will say, I probably will say this. This is one of the most beautiful songs LİVE has ever put out. And that is Overcome, which they wrote and put out on the album after 9/11 had happened. And wow, that song is powerful. It's not as, like, beautiful as some of their other tracks that I will get into later, but his singing, his vocals, just the instrumentation of it all, it's a beautiful track. It's so beautiful. Anybody that hasn't heard this album or hasn't even heard LİVE and you want to hear something more soft and beautiful and more touching, listen to Overcome. It's a slow burner, but it's a very, very good track, and I do recommend that one a lot. So yeah, enough said about V. It's a very good album. There is some weird tracks that are more funnier than they are supposedly taken serious. Supposedly trying to be taken serious. But it's such a fun album. I can't hate it. I think I had a lot of fun with it, and some of it's funny, some of it's funky, some of it's just heavy. It's a fun album. So yeah, I give V a 96%. It's pretty good. I really like it. So I definitely recommend that one for sure. Okay, moving on. Number 4, we have their very first album, Mental Jewelry. This album is amazing. Oh my God. This album. I listened to this one after Throwing Copper, after my psychology teacher recommended me that one. And I loved it just almost as much as Throwing Copper. Even for like a first debut for them, what a perfect debut for them. Oh my God. It starts off with a banger with Pain Lies on the Riverside, which is a funky tune that is rocking. And it is a 5-minute journey of just epic. It's just epic. That's all I can say about it is it's epic. And other songs like Waterboy, Brothers Unaware, I know there's one I'm forgetting. Oh my God, Operation Spirit. Oh my God, and The Beauty of Grey. Almost every song goes hard. The only thing I will say is the front half is way more loaded than the back half. I don't go back to the back half as much, but I do remember there being some really good songs on the back half. I just can't really remember them right now. My favorite song on the album, though, would probably have to be the opening track, Pain Lies on the Riverside. They come in with such a bang that you can't help but just be sitting there head banging and being like, what? What's going on? You know, like, what? Oh, it's so peak. It is so peak, dude. I'd have to say my second favorite would probably be Operation Spirit or Brothers Unaware. Those songs are so good for two different reasons, because Operation Spirit is a more heavy lifting, funky do-do-do-do-do-do-do, like a bass line and everything like that. Then Brothers Unaware kind of takes a step back, and it's more of a slow head bop with like some reverb guitar, and it's just like, it's so trippy, man. I love that song. Oh my God, I could listen to this album a lot. I really, really could. So yeah, that's why I give Mental Jewelry a 97%. It is so good. So good. Okay, but we're in the top 3. We are in it. We are in the top 3. And this could get interesting, but I think you all know probably what my number 1 is already by now, so. Okay, but number 3, we have Secret Samadahi. I know that's a bit of a weird one. This might be their heaviest album they've ever made. I don't know how to explain it. It starts with the song Rattlesnake, which is a beautiful track. I don't even know how to explain that song other than, like, it feels like it should be in a movie about, like, a dystopian world or something like that. It's very, very interesting how they started out, but it's also very heavy and very loud. Then it goes to Lakenny's Juice, which is another, oh my God, head-banging song, where from the first few seconds, you're like, that riff is insane. Wow. Then you have songs like Graze and Century, and one of my personal favorites, Ghost. That is a 6-minute song of pure amazingness. I don't even know how to explain that one either. It just, it shows, it expresses a story, and it flows so nice. And then you have, let's see, Turn My Head, which is one of the beautiful tracks that I wanted to get into from before. Yeah, that was one of the first, like, not one of the first, but that was one of the most beautiful songs I heard from Live in their earlier stuff, because this is their 3rd album. And I remember being attached to this song a lot and replaying it a lot. And it was on repeat, and I just kept listening to it. And his vocals are just angelic. They are really angelic. This dude's voice never gets old for me. This is one of their most beautiful tracks. I wouldn't say I'd say it's less beautiful than Overcome, but it's still a beautiful track. You can't hate on it. It's such a beautiful track. I love that track. And I think one of the last, Freaks being one of the last tracks on the album. Freaks is one of the weirdest tracks on the album. The lyrics will throw you off, but give it a chance because the instruments are amazing on it. Just get past what he's saying. It's a little bit weird. Hero Psycho Dreamer is another one off this album that I really like. It's really fast. It's really short song, but it's quick. It's loud. It's in your face. The lyrics are also weird as hell again. But man, does this album rock. I love this album so much. This album rocks hard. One of their heaviest albums. So that's why I give Secret Samadahi a 97%. It is so good. Okay, jumping into number 2 here. One of my personal favorite albums from them that I love so much. The Distance to Here. Look at that album cover, man. Just look at that piece of art. That alone just makes me like want to listen to the album and see what the hell is on this thing. You know, like why does it look like that? You know, like what is in this album? I need to know. Well, the first song is going to blow your asshole out. Oh my God. It is called The Dolphins Cry. And man, what an opener. What an opener. It is heavy. It is in your face. It's loud. And the music video to it is also really odd, but it's soothing almost for some reason. But man, I don't know. That song is such a great opener. Probably one of their best openers of all time. And then as the album keeps going, you got plenty of other tracks like Run to the Water, one of my personal favorites off the album. I love that song so much. I think it's raining outside if you can't hear that. And you got other tracks like Sparkle, which is a good one, Sun. Where Fishes Go. Oh my God, Where Fishes Go is such a good song. Has some weird instrumentation on it. Face and Ghost, the children's song, I think that's what it's called. That is a interesting song, but also another one of their most beautiful tracks they've ever made. I love that song so much. I'm trying to think if there's another one that I'm missing, but I think I've talked about the ones that I want to talk about. I will say again for this album, like I said, I think for Mental Jewelry, the front half is loaded with great songs. Then the last half is like hit or miss, like for some forgettable, some not, but like it doesn't take away too much from the album because the rest of the album's amazing. But you might find some good tracks in the back half of this album on like side 2. But other than that, the album is near perfect for me. It is near perfect. There's just some songs I don't go back to, but the rest of the album, I pretty much go back to this whole thing, and I could listen to it fully again. I really could. So yeah, I give The Distance to Here a 98%. It is so good. Top tier live album. Okay, but we've made it to my number 1. If you couldn't have already guessed what my number 1 is, and probably what a lot of people's number 1 is going to be, Throwing Copper, their second album. What is there to say about this album that most people that lived through the 90s and heard this on the radio a lot could say about this album that I could say right now? I'm going to say that this album is complete perfection. This album is one of the best albums of the 90s. One of my favorite albums from the 90s. Of course, it's being 1994. Yeah, you have every song here. One of their most classic albums, and it has all the classic hits on it. Just to name a few songs that aren't just the hits, but just are some of the hits. Damn It Otter Creek, Stealing the Drama, I Alone, Lightning Crashes, Iris, Stage, Waitress, Pillar of Davidson, White Discussion, Top, All Over You, fucking, yeah, I think I've named them all. The only thing I didn't like about it when I first heard it is because they have the hidden track listed on Spotify and stuff and on the vinyl called Horse, and it's like a country song, and that one wasn't really that good. But if you don't even include that because it's just a hidden track, the album is absolute perfection. It is perfect. It is absolutely amazing. One of the best pieces of music we got from the 90s. If you've never heard this album, I highly recommend you go listen to this album and get in on some Live, because you will not be disappointed. This album goes hard. I wouldn't say it's their heaviest album, but it's got some heavy tracks in it and some headbangers that I know everybody's going to love. So, there you have it, guys. That is my album ranking for the band Live. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will have some more album rankings coming soon. I'm looking at my notebook right now, and I can see that we got a couple more coming for you. If you want me to name off a band right now that I think I'm going to do next, I will do so. I think we are going to do Tenacious D next. So everybody get ready for that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.